Hey everybody, welcome back to Night Owl Video, a brand new thrifting haul today, and a little chat maybe, and some coffee. I'm doing it old school like I did 3 years ago. For those of you who don't know, I just celebrated my 3rd anniversary on YouTube, and it's, it is what it is, as the kids say. But yeah, today I'm talking about some stuff I picked up recently. Not a massive haul. I got some cool things. And then yeah, maybe just a hangout. This kind of a new thing I'd like to try out is kind of like a hangout video. Um, so we'll see where that goes. I don't know. I didn't script anything or plan anything out. And I did watch the film Bad Taste the other night, and I want to do a review of that really soon, so that should be coming anytime now. But before I get into the music and movies, I did find this really cool. I forgot to look it up before I got on here. This Godzilla action figure, I guess. I don't know. So my thing with Godzilla is I really do like Godzilla, like the old school Godzilla movies, and specifically I've been looking at watching a lot of like toy channels, toy collectors and things like that. Yes, believe it or not, I don't spend my time watching movie reviews, but my sort of recent, I would say the last couple years I've been watching them, but every once in a while I go into this like fixation where I'm like, maybe I should collect some toys. And I always think first thing I would like to start collecting is Godzilla. So this is one of the baddies. You guys can leave it in the comments below. I'm at the age now where I'm like, I'm not remembering the names of these things, but I found this oddly at Value Village for $4.99. I don't know if that's a good deal or not, but I just thought he was really cool looking. And I do have a little toy shelf that I'm kind of adding to here and there. And so I thought he would be a really cool addition. The reason I got him is because I never see like Godzilla toys or anything like. It's usually just kind of junky stuff or like Happy Meals toys and things like that. But when I saw him, I was just like, I gotta get this. So happy to add him to my little toy shelf, which is growing. Let's get on to the music. I got 3 vinyl records this past week. The first one up I got is, it's hard to get these in frame. John Lee Hooker, This Is Hip. Yeah, baby, this is hip. This is from 1981. It's a collection of songs by John Lee Hooker. I should have read the liner notes before I got on here, but I think this is kind of like I don't want to call it a greatest hits, but it says, attention, invertebrate blues junkies, don't panic. This fix is a deliberately seductive blend of some of the best examples of just about every Hooker style, mood, and setting recorded for VJ Records between 1955 and 1964. So there you go. And is aimed at first-time users more than old hardliners like yourself. Though if you don't at least get a buzz off it, then you really are terminally sick. The first delivery of your specially selected heavy-duty compilations will be arriving soon, if not sooner. So this is from Charlie Records from 1981. All tracks licensed from VJ Records. And this is, yeah, like, I guess when I was listening to it, I was like, I know a lot of these songs from other albums. So it is kind of a greatest hits, but it has like I'm in the Mood, Boom Boom, which is, of course, a lot of people know that song. Crawling King Snake, one of my favorites. Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Serves Me Right to Suffer. And there's a couple there's at least 2 tracks on here that were previously not released. So this is an excellent record. Guys, if you like blues music, John Lee Hooker is my favorite. I like Howlin' Wolf. I like Hound Dog Taylor, but for me, John Lee Hooker is the best. Just love his style. And he's really, really like kind of punk in the way he even plays the guitar. Like sometimes he'll play it over the top of the neck. I think I've mentioned this before in other videos, but he's just really creative, and his voice is so just rich and dark at times and beautiful. So John Lee Hooker, yeah, this is hip. The next record I got is The Who, Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy. I've skipped over this record hundreds of times because I don't like the cover art, and I always didn't really get what this record was. Again, kind of a greatest hits or a collection of singles, and I have a couple other Who records, but I don't have like a greatest hits. This has I Can't Explain, Happy Jack, I Can See for Miles, Pictures of Lily, My Generation, The Seeker, Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere, Magic Bus Substitute, I'm a Boy, all of the great singles from The Who. And when I don't know, it's very naive of me. I guess I never really spent much time studying the jacket, but then when I studied the jacket, I was like, wait, these are all my favorite songs. I love the early Who. It's a gatefold. I don't know if you can see. That's the inside. I guess this might be a place where they would have maybe hung out or recorded or something. You can kind of see that this kaiju is going to maybe jam with the Who or something. Yeah, just really cool. Wait a sec now. Oh, I just realized the cover is that them as kids, and then I don't know if that's a real photo or if that's mocked up, and then maybe that's them. Almost like reminds me of Minor Threat on their doorstep. Anyway, great record, all of the hits. This puts me in such a good mood, especially springtime. I love the Who in the spring. Just gives me that. It's like the weather's getting nice, although today's quite dreary. And then the last piece of vinyl I got, I paid a solid 2 25-cent pieces at my local SPCA charity shop. I paid 50 cents for this record. I don't know. It's a beater. It's been around the block, although it's mostly just the jacket that's beat up. The vinyl itself is actually pretty nice. It's an album called Vancouver Independence. Yeah. And this was in amongst a bunch of like Barbara Mandrell and like Julio Iglesias records and stuff. And I was like, what is this? It looks like, at first I thought it was beekeepers, but I think it's like toxic waste people. I don't know. I'll put it on the thing if you want to freeze it. This is early 80s underground Vancouver punk and weird noise kind of sounding bands, put out by Friends Hot Wax. I don't know if I saw a year on this. The reason I grabbed it is because I saw that the Subhumans were on it and the Droogs, and those are the only two bands that I know on this record. It also has bands called No Exit, Metros, Singing Cowboys, B-Sides, Psy Monkey or Sea Monkey. I don't know really much about this. I looked it up. All I could find on this was like that it was it's held in like a Vancouver underground music library or something, but I was just like, I knew there was something interesting about this record. And like I said, the vinyl itself is well, you probably can't really see it in the camera, but the vinyl itself is actually really nice. Like it's maybe a few little nicks here and there, but like nothing that you would cry about. And I had to grab this. I've only listened to side A. So far, excellent punk rock, and there was like a weird band on there. I'm trying to remember what the band's name was. Yeah, I don't. It could have been No Exit maybe, or Sea Monkey. But yeah, cool. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, my years in campus working and volunteering at campus radio, this looks like an old library sticker from a college campus radio station, and I think this little green sticker means it's CanCon or Canadian Content. So anyway, cool to add that to the collection. I may keep this, or I may try to see if I can trade it out for some more Godzilla toys with some friends or something, but let's have a sip of coffee, shall we? Nothing fancy, guys. I'm a grocery store coffee connoisseur, so President's Choice, and Silk almond milk. Once we got past the listeria scare, I did switch to Earth's Own for a while, and I may go back because that is a Canadian company. Always been a coffee drinker, though. Oh, I guess we're going off on a side tangent. I had my first cup of coffee in 1985 or 86. I think it was 85. It was at a Chinese restaurant. Me and a bunch of my punk rock friends went to a Chinese restaurant and we ordered coffee. And I had never had coffee in my life. And I put milk and sugar in it. And I drank it. And I enjoyed it. And I come from a long line of coffee fanatics. My mom loves coffee. My grandfather loved coffee. Like, he was like descendants, like double, triple brew type style coffee, blacker than black. And so I've always drank coffee. I developed a bit of acid reflux a few years ago, so I now have to add milk to it because I can't take the acidity of black coffee, though I'd love to go back. So side tangent anyway, which this side tangent might be leading towards a little chat we're going to have at the end. Let's move on to the compact discs. Recently, I've been watching a lot of Westerns, and I discovered this thing, Pluto TV, which I'm sure some of you use. It's free TV, and there's Western channels on there, and so I was watching all kinds of old episodes of Gunsmoke, and every once in a while I go through a little Western phase, and I found this CD at the record store, and I got very excited. Ennio Morricone, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly CD. Yep. I would say this is probably an old CD based on the layout. It looks like it's been around for a while. This is the inside. I don't think this is a booklet. No, it's just a slip of paper. For three men, the Civil War wasn't hell, it was practice. Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and Eli Wallach in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This CD says 1985 on it, so I don't know if this is actually from 1985, but it's in really nice condition. This person, I don't know if they passed away or got rid of their collection, but there's a lot of this person's CDs in my local thrift store, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe they downsized. And then I went to another thrift store, which I can't remember what. I know it's a charity shop. I found U2 Boy. This is a reissue from 2008. This is an early U2 album. I don't know if you can see the guys on the back there, but they all look pretty young. This was from, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 1980 or 81. But this is a 2008 reissue. It's very nice packaging, and whoever owned this CD, there's a better picture of the boys. Whoever owned this CD took very good care of it. It's in very nice condition. This particular thrift store, the items are $2 a piece, movies or CDs. So yeah, it's got a nice collectible booklet. It's got some notes in it, some liner notes. There's some photos. There's from a picture from 1978. So my history with U2 is, yeah, I know a lot of people probably are like, oh God, U2. I have to be honest, I stopped listening to them after about 1991. But the 80s U2 I love. They were one of my first bands that I fell in love with their album War. With the song Sunday Bloody Sunday and New Year's Day. And so I don't have a lot of the early stuff, but this might be their first album. You guys can, if you're U2 fans, you can leave it in the comments below, but this is a very early one. I don't know why it doesn't say the original date on it, but it's the 2008 edition. It's remastered by The Edge, the guitar player from U2. Yeah, it doesn't seem to list the original year that it came out, which is really weird. But U2 in the beginning were kind of like post-punk, jangly, angular, really interesting music. They definitely smoothed out over the years, of course, and then, by the time Joshua Tree came out, they were kind of more or less a mainstream rock pop band. But I always had a soft spot for U2 just because I like their early stuff. And I don't really know this album super well. I've heard it, but yeah, War for me was my favorite, and Unforgettable Fire, which was produced by Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois. Highly recommend that album. Maybe I'll talk about U2 more someday, but if you're skeptical about U2, don't base it on the stuff from the 2000s. Go back to the 70s, late 70s into the early 80s and check them out, because they really were, I thought, really interesting. Not to say they aren't still, but that early stuff so good and so I don't know. I mean, you could argue it's like post-punk because it's not, if you listen to it, it's not like very polished or pop sounding. It's, there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. Speaking of weird, I got Radiohead's Greatest Hits. I have a weird history with another band I have kind of a weird history with, but I loved Kid A, Amnesiac, The Bends, OK Computer, the Hail to the Thief, I think it was. So some of those ones that were later into the 2000s, I'm not super familiar with, but for me, like Kid A, Amnesiac, that era, can't stop them. And they got so interesting to me in those years. Not to say they were good at their early stuff too, like the Bends and oh guys, I'm getting old, but I'm a Creep, that kind of stuff, probably their best known stuff. But they got really, Pablo Honey was their first album, and the Bends, and then OK Computer, all really, really good. Actually, this covers all of those albums, I guess. So yeah, just pick this up. I have Amnesiac and Kid A on CD, but I thought this might be a cool one to have just in the car because it's got uh, Paranoid Android, Karma Police, Creep, Iron Lung, Fake Plastic Trees, The Bends. So it's got a lot of different stuff on it. So just kind of a cool sampler of all their stuff. This store puts Scotch tape over the sides and tops of, and they put Scotch tape on all sides of the CD so you can't look at the disc. So you have to take them to the counter and get the clerk to open them so you can check the discs. Bit annoying, but anyway, cool to add that to my collection. Up next, first of the movies. Nothing special here, but an upgrade for me. Steven Seagal, Under Siege. I have this on a DVD, like 4-movie pack. The other 3 movies in that 4-movie collection, I don't really care about it. I actually bought it just for Under Siege. So I grabbed this. I grabbed this Blu-ray as an upgrade. I love this movie. I know it's a guilty pleasure for me. Actually, I just like it. I'm not even gonna. Can we get rid of guilty pleasure? It's just a fun movie. Steven Seagal, Tommy Lee Jones, Gary Busey. It's directed by Andrew Davis from 1992. It's Die Hard on a Battleship, a high-tech thriller with laughs and thrills, says Michael Wilmington from the Los Angeles Times. If you're looking for just a great rainy Sunday afternoon, edge of your seat, fun, goofy thriller, I love that movie. I'm not even gonna lie, I just like it. Can't say I like a lot of Steven Seagal movies that I've seen, but I do love that one. This one is a weird one. I've never seen it. It's called Shut In. It looks like a horror movie with Naomi Watts, Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things, and Jacob Tremblay from Room. Yeah, I'd never heard of this movie. Don't know anything about it, but for $2, decided to add it to my collection. Check it out. I love Naomi Watts. The tagline is, "Sometimes it's safer outside." It looks like a kind of a winter thriller. Isolated and trapped inside by a vicious winter storm, a child psychologist, Naomi Watts, caring for her disabled son, Charlie Heaton, soon realizes that the deadliest threat is hidden within her house. Sounds great to me. I love Naomi Watts. Um, of course, The Ring and Mulholland Drive. She's a great, great actor. And yeah, decided to check this one out. So let me know in the comments if you've seen that. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I know, guys. I know. Judge me if you want. I love Dumb and Dumber. I did not have this in my collection. This is another one of these comfort movies for me. It is totally goofy, totally silly, but I do love it. And I do watch it every couple of years just for a laugh. And this is Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey. I love both of these guys, and Jeff Daniels especially. I don't think he gets enough credit. If you've never seen Squid and the Whale, I'm always talking that movie up. Jeff Daniels is a great, great dramatic actor. Unfortunately, he usually gets remembered for this movie, but yeah. Just looking at the pictures on the back. If you've seen it, you know when they get on the little motorbike and they're all frozen and they've been driving in the freezing cold and their nose is running and all the snot is dried to the face. It's awful. Is this not a Farrelly Brothers or am I dreaming? Yeah, it's Farrelly Brothers, yeah. Who also did There's Something About Mary. If you like that kind of comedy, gross out kind of comedy, I don't know if you call it slapstick, but it's just that kind of thing. It's not for me every day, but I was just recently watching the Naked Gun trilogy, and I did just watch Airplane for the first time in my life. And so when I saw Dumb and Dumber in this same thrifting haul, I was like, you know what? I'm just in the mood for this kind of thing. Maybe it's because the world sucks so bad right now, but yeah, I was just in the mood for some weird, goofy. What do you call that? Like black? It's not black comedy, but it's like Don't Call Me Shirley, the Don't Call Me Shirley edition, which in French is Y a-t-il un pilote dans l'avion, which is like, is there a pilot in the airplane? But in English, it's called Don't Call Me Shirley edition. I had never seen this movie. I've seen clips of it. I'm familiar with it, but I'd never actually watched it. So I popped this on the other night. I'll probably do a review of this. These kinds of movies aren't my absolute favorite, but I do have a soft spot for them. I always like Naked Gun, and I love Leslie Nielsen, and so I decided to pick this up. I did enjoy this movie. It was fun. It had a lot of funny moments in it. I did laugh out loud a bunch of times, and yeah, happy to add this to my collection. Don't know if it's a keeper for me, but I couldn't find it on streaming anywhere, and I was in the mood to finally sit down and check this out, so I did. And this also has, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in this. It's a weird movie. A farce. That's what it is. It's a farce. Yes. I guess it's making fun of serious movies, but kind of cool lenticular. I also left the Future Shop sticker on it. Look at that, baby. Rest in peace, Future Shop. Or rest in peace, Future Shop physical media department. Speaking of weird comedies, I also picked up and watched Weird Al Yankovic's UHF. This is the 25th anniversary edition from Shout Factory. I had never seen this either. And I had bought this on DVD a couple years ago. Had still not gotten around to watching it. Found the Blu-ray in that same day. So Dumb and Dumber, UHF, and Airplane all in one day. So added this to the collection. Watched it the other night. Loved it. It's my kind of comedy. You could argue that Michael Richards is in here from Seinfeld. I know he's not. Seems to me he was kind of racist many, many years ago and was called out for it. But watching this, you could almost argue this was a Michael Richards movie. But this also has Victoria Jackson in it. Did you guys know that Victoria Jackson is kind of shitty? I did not know this about Victoria Jackson. I loved Victoria Jackson on SNL way back in the day, and then I discovered she's awful in real life. She's like some kind of weird, like she was jumping on Barack Obama with his citizenship stuff, and she apparently wrote a letter to whatever network Glee was on, because when two boys kissed on Glee, she was like super offended that this mainstream show is, catering to a gay crowd and all this. And like, Victoria Jackson, what happened to you? I thought you were so cool and cute and lovable, and you're horrible. But yeah, so that was a bit disappointing. But UHF was not disappointing. I did really enjoy it. It's got a lot of, if you like weird comedies, this has got a reversible cover, I meant to say too. So I think this is probably like newly commissioned artwork, and this is the original, which some of you may be more familiar with that artwork. I believe that's the artwork on my DVD copy. So yeah, I'll probably just try to sell my DVD or trade it in for credit at my local thrift shop. But yeah, this is a cool movie. I'll probably do a review of this at some point too. But if you like this kind of stuff, you love this kind of stuff. If you don't like it, you probably just don't want to watch it. And then finally, the last thing I found at the shop was the Beetlejuice complete series animated, the complete animated series from 1989, 91. This was put out in 2024 by Warner Brothers. This is a used copy, but not in too bad a condition. The packaging is not wonderful. It's one of those, actually it's falling apart. It's one of these jobs here. There's a lot of episodes. There's 94 episodes. This is based on executive producer Tim Burton's beloved film Beetlejuice. So yeah, I've only seen a few episodes of this show here and there. I think there's some free ones on YouTube, but I decided to add this to my collection. I still had some credit left over, so pick this up. I'll probably check this out over time. I still have a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of things to watch and not a lot of time. Just quickly, though, before I go, thank you for watching that, and I hope you enjoyed what I found, and leave comments below of any of that stuff that you like or would like to add to your collection, or leave a comment about stuff that you've picked up recently. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, I was thinking about doing like a new series that would maybe be like a weekly thing where it would be more of like, kind of like what I'm doing right now, which is more of just like a hangout. And I would say, just more of a casual thing. And instead of doing research on movies and getting all this like info to share with you from like IMDb and, all these other websites. What's the one? I'm blanking. Then I would just like talk about movies I watched and like maybe share some history of that I have with the movie. Talk about video store days. Talk about music I'm listening to this week. And just, it would be more like a hangout, just like you and I just like hanging out. And you can make some coffee and we can just hang out and I'll just talk about some cool stuff that I've watched or listened to. And it would be kind of like a weekly roundup, maybe like a Friday afternoon coffee and physical media chill out session or something. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I haven't really nailed down exactly what it'll look like, but thrifting hauls, I can't do those all the time, although I've been fairly lucky lately, but I can't do those all the time just because you don't always find stuff, and money's an issue, of course, in this economy. So anyway, that's just kind of an idea of having, so leave in the comments below. I had a couple different series: Cult Movie Tuesdays, Fright Fridays, Thrifting Hauls, things like that. But then I was thinking, and I did start a new one in the fall, but I didn't really carry through with it. And that was like, what did I watch last week? But I was still researching and making notes in that. And I thought maybe it would be more casual to just talk about the movies and, like I said, my history with them, or like do sort of like a word association thing. So I'm listening to Fugazi this week, and that makes me think about post-punk, and then and that might take me to like Public Image Limited, and then I go to like no wave music, and that takes me to like no wave cinema, and then I'm talking about Buster Poindexter, or like just kind of have these like I don't want to say word association, but like memory association or something. Anyway, it's just an idea I've had, and I've also been toying with the idea of turning this into a bit of a podcast or something. I do have an affiliation with a campus community radio station in Fredericton, New Brunswick called CHSRFM. Go check them out. And so I did say, Aaron, if you're watching this, I know I did say I would do a show for you at some point. So I did a pilot episode with the film Down by Law. And I did that quite a while ago, like 6 months ago. So I have to go back and re-listen to that and then kind of tweak it, but it would be similar to this, but like in an audio format. And I would play like clips from the movie trailer and things like that. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. It's supposed to rain today, so I'm stuck inside, I guess. If it doesn't rain, I'll probably go for a bike ride. What are you up to today? Leave your comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Follow me over on Blue Sky at Night Owl Video. This is a newer or a social media platform that's gaining popularity and replacing the other social media platforms that I don't even want to mention or give them any credit or money. So yeah, and I know YouTube's probably not excellent, but it's not owned by Mark Zuckerberg to my knowledge. Anyway, that's it for today. If you've made it this far, God bless you. Thank you for watching all the way through. Let me know what you thought about this video. Take good care of yourselves. Take good care of your friends and your family and your loved ones, and support your local businesses and community members. Help the little old lady across the street, or the little old man for that matter. Be kind to animals. I just watched an episode of Gunsmoke where there was a man who had an intellectual disability who didn't like to see animals getting hurt. And he was hurting the people that were hurting the animals. And so that's why I mentioned that. Maybe this association thing will go off the rails too quick. I don't know. But feel free to leave comments. And thanks again for watching. I will be back with more content real soon. Again, like I might do this like Friday hangout thing. I might try recording like an episode next week and just do like a pilot thing and see how it goes. But feel free to leave your comments below. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.